So today, we're diving into a high-stakes battle for one of the most exciting markets on the planet. This is the story of a local champion, a global giant, and the all-out war to furnish the modern Indian home.
15 seconds. Think about that. Every 15 seconds, an item gets sold on Pepperfry, India's top online furniture retailer. I mean, by the time we're done here, they'll have sold dozens of items. They've built this incredible empire, delivering to over 500 cities and reaching millions of customers.
Because here's the thing, a massive challenger has just stepped into the ring, armed with unbelievably deep pockets and a global reputation that precedes them. It's a classic David versus Goliath story, and the prize is, well, the future of the Indian living room.
All right, to really get what's at stake here, you first have to understand the reigning king. Let's take a look at the incredible rise of Pepperfry and how they totally conquered the market before the giant showed up.
I mean, the scale of their success is just wild. Before IKEA really entered the scene, Pepperfry had locked down over half of the entire Indian online furniture market, a staggering 54% share. They were the undisputed leader, no question about it. So how did they pull it off? Well, their journey is a masterclass in strategy. They started out pretty broad back in 2012, selling, everything, but they were smart. They let their own data guide them. A year later, they saw that a whopping 80% of their revenue was coming from home and furniture. So they made a brilliant pivot to focus only on that. Then they got innovative, opening these physical experience centers, which was a genius move to blend online ease with offline trust. By 2018, they were on top of the world.
Of course, Pepperfry's success didn't happen in a vacuum, right? They were riding this massive wave of change in India, tapping into the needs of a brand new type of Indian consumer.
And at the heart of this change, it's economics, plain and simple. As Indian households have more disposable income, they naturally want to invest in a better lifestyle. And where does that start? At home. So more money in the bank literally translates to more demand for new, better furniture.
So who is this new consumer? Well, we're talking about young, tech-savvy people, a lot of them millennials, living in smaller, city homes. They're not looking for their parents' big, clunky, traditional furniture. No way. They need stuff that's smart, modular, and multifunctional. And they're not just decorating the living room for guests anymore, they're furnishing the entire home. This was the absolute perfect audience for a data-savvy online brand like Pepperfry.
And then the music stopped. Just as Pepperfry was sitting comfortably on its throne, a global behemoth with a completely different playbook came knocking.
Let's just put this number into perspective. 38.3 billion euros. That was IKEA's global revenue back in 2017. We are not talking about another scrappy startup here. We are talking about one of the biggest, most dominant retailers on the entire planet. The scale is just mind-boggling. And listen, they weren't just testing the waters. IKEA came in with a massive, long-term plan. 25 gigantic showrooms by 2025, backed by an investment of over 100 billion rupees. This wasn't just a market entry. This was a full-scale invasion. But here's the thing. IKEA isn't just big. They're incredibly smart. They're famous for their do-it-yourself or DIY model, right? But they spent 2 years researching India, visiting over 1,000 homes, and they realized that that DIY model just wasn't going to work. So what did they do? They adapted. They created I Do It For You, hiring 150 local carpenters to assemble the furniture for customers, an absolutely brilliant local pivot.
So this sets up a fascinating strategic showdown. You've got two incredibly powerful companies with fundamentally different ideas about how to win. Let's break down their playbooks.
You really couldn't imagine two more different approaches. Pepperfry is all about being agile and local. They've got these small, data-driven experience centers and their own nimble logistics. IKEA, on the other hand, is all about overwhelming scale. These enormous destination big box stores powered by a massive global supply chain. It's the classic matchup, speed and agility versus raw power.
But hold on, it's not just a two-horse race. We can't forget about the other players on the field. You've got direct rivals like Urban Ladder, you've got e-commerce giants like Walmart-backed Flipkart jumping in, and you even have these disruptive rental services going after those same migrant millennials. The whole market is getting crowded, and it's getting crowded fast.
So, with the chessboard set and all the pieces in motion, how is the local king, Pepperfry, supposed to respond to this immense pressure? What's their next move going to be? Well, Instead of trying to outmuscle IKEA, which, let's be honest, would be impossible, Pepperfry is doubling down on its own strengths. Its agility, its local know-how, and its tech. They're not trying to play IKEA's game. They're trying to change the rules of the game itself. And here is their playbook in action. To stay nimble, they're opening even smaller, more targeted showrooms right where people live. To win on tech, they're rolling out augmented reality in their apps so you can see how furniture looks in your room. And they're even planning for VR. Plus, they're jumping into new models like furniture rentals to capture a whole new audience. Every single move is about being smarter, not just bigger. Which leaves us with the ultimate billion-dollar question. In this epic battle for the Indian home, what's going to win out in the end? Will it be IKEA's massive global scale and deep pockets? Or will it be Pepperfry's deep local knowledge, their data-driven agility, and their big bets on new technology? The final chapter of this story, well, it's still being written.